everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to tonight's shitcast. We apologise in advance.
We watch them so you don't have to.
Yeah. We're up to the letter F in our A to Z of shitcasting, and we chose 50 Shades of Grey.
Or as I like to call it, 50 Shades of Shit.
I know if I'm haunting you, you must be haunting me.
It's 2 hours and 8 minutes of my life that I'll never get back.
Twice.
Twice. Yes.
I saw this at the cinema.
I saw this for lols.
Really?
Yeah. Just out of curiosity.
I didn't.
One night with some friends.
Oh, you poor thing.
And there were no lols to be had because
There's no laughs in this movie.
it's
It's dour. Sorry to be such a Debbie Downer, but it is not a pleasant experience when you are trying to watch a film that you know is bad going in.
Yep.
And then watching it, and it's like watching a train wreck because
It's
awful.
this movie is a constant reminder of how terrible it is. Just from start to finish,
There's no grace period.
no, it's relentless. It's just so this movie.
Who does it star?
It stars Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson.
And who are they?
They're actors.
One is.
Yes, it's true. One is Dakota Johnson's.
She sucks.
Yeah, she's not very good. Like,
She might have a really great lineage, like a Nepo baby or whatever they call it in the States, but yeah, to actually be a proper Nepo baby, you have to have talent.
I've yet to see her in something that's good.
I mean, maybe Madam Web is good. I can't even keep a straight face. It's a Marvel
Don't make
film.
us watch Madam Web.
No. When we get to M, can we do Morats or something? Yes.
No Kevin Smith.
Okay. Would you
God's
rather
sake.
watch Madam Web than Morats?
I honestly don't know. Anyway,
I'd rather watch Morats.
getting back to this piece of crap.
And Jamie Dornan is Irish?
Yes, he is.
Okay. With the worst American accent I've heard since Charlie Hunnam.
Speaking of which, Charlie Hunnam was actually considered
For the role.
for this
I know.
role, as was Ryan Gosling, who turned it down.
I can understand why. But he would have actually, it would have been a different film if he'd have been
And
in it.
Amelia Clarke was considered. They actually wanted to have it star Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. For
And why
those of
would
you-
that be?
For those of you who don't know, 50 Shades of Grey started off as Twilight fan fiction by E.L. James. And somehow it became really popular. And somehow that popularity was turned into 3 books. And for some reason, major studios then wanted to turn those 3 books into 3 movies.
Now, we were somewhere the other night and someone said that these books actually aren't badly written. Now, I've read them. They are badly written. They're not literature. They're toilet books, I call them. If you're in the toilet and you just want a quick, laugh, you'll read it because it's not well written at all.
When we get to the trivia later on, I actually have a direct quote from the book that will prove to you just
Ooh, do you see?
how bad.
It's
these books are.
And look, if the dialogue's taken from the books, then literally, because I can't remember, because I try and block a lot of stuff in that period of time in my life. But if the dialogue is like verbatim from what's in the books, literally the worst dialogue I've ever heard in a movie.
It's actually not verbatim from the books.
Oh, good.
There was a lot that was taken out
because
it wouldn't have worked.
okay,
in the movie.
and so in that respect, the book must be even worse.
I haven't read them.
I have, but I blocked them.
Yeah.
I tend to if I don't like something, I'll try and forget as much as I can. And as I said, this period of my life, I want to forget big time, including that frickin' song.
Should we try and describe the plot of this piece of crap?
Okay, a young college student subs for her best friend, her roommate, to interview a billionaire, a reclusive billionaire, and he sort of like knows that she is a substitute because her best friend's sick, and he finds her intriguing.
He becomes immediately enamored with her
Because she's young.
she's young and
pretty.
innocent. And
Well, she wears her hair in a ponytail. That's a dead giveaway that she's an innocent person. Yeah, innocent young person. And it's creepy. Like
it's very, very, very creepy.
It's not like, this older man takes an attraction to a younger woman.
Yeah.
It's sort of like he stalks her.
Yeah, the age difference actually isn't that bad.
That's fine. 7 years is fine.
Yeah, I think in the movie his character is 27, she's about 19 or 20. It's not that bad, but
That's like my mum and dad.
The power dynamic is...
He comes off as an incel that can get women
Yeah.
because he's a billionaire.
Yeah,
He can do what he
he's an
wants when he
attractive
wants.
billionaire, yeah.
Yeah, he's basically a man with no limits because of his money.
Yeah.
He can just do what he wants when he wants.
But
how
he
wants.
basically, he decides that Anastasia is very interesting, so...
Oh, their names. Anastasia Steele and Christian Grey. That's on the nose.
Just a little bit.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
And where was I?
Talking about his creepiness.
Oh, yes. So basically, he decides he's very interested in Anastasia. So he basically starts stalking her. He buys her a laptop. He
Buys her a car.
He buys her a car. He starts texting her.
But he does say that she is his girlfriend in one scene, which actually did surprise me. Because
Yeah, but that's after when they're dating. Like this is before they're dating. He just starts
buying her
stalking
stuff.
her and buying her.
And he's like,
crap.
he's telling her what to look up on the computer.
Yeah.
Research and stuff. Because
And she gets drunk at a club one night and he gets really pissed off and shows up to make sure that she's safe. But
to be fair, there was a dude macking on her that was almost going to look like that poor lady that's just had that court case in Australia.
Yep.
It looked like it was going to end up like a date rape sort of thing, or just he was going to take
yeah,
advantage.
that's not why he showed up though. He
No.
showed up because he was pissed off that she was drunk.
And he did save her from the Jose, which is our Jacob analog in this
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
It's so bad, guys.
Basically, they get into somewhat of a relationship,
But
but
his ground rules is that he is a dominant. She says, he says, do you know what BDSM is? And she goes, what did she say?
I
can't
don't
remember.
know.
And he goes, and he says, no, you'll be my submissive
Yeah.
and I'm your dominant. And from that moment on, that's all he cares about.
Yeah.
Literally, like, it's not that he wants to form some sort of relationship with her. He actually has, like, his agenda is like so pronounced and so forward that the pacing just falls away because
The problem with this movie though is it would be one thing if he was brutally honest and he just said, I'm not into relationships.
He does say that.
Yeah, he does. But, it would be one thing if he said that and stuck with it.
And then he
doesn't.
He like the first time they ever have sex, he says, I never sleep with anyone.
I never make love.
First night, because she's a virgin, he makes love to her and lies next to her and sleeps next to her the first night.
Yeah.
And he says,
But he doesn't sleep next to people.
He doesn't sleep next to people.
So,
And he doesn't do romance.
he's saying one
says,
thing,
"I
he's
fuck
doing
hard."
other things, and then
Didn't
he's
he?
getting...
That's what he said. He said, I fuck hard.
Yeah,
It was like,
sure you do, buddy.
yeah. Anyway. It's okay. So they form some sort of relationship, dependent relationship. She starts to obsess of him, but she's obviously naive and scared.
Mm-hmm.
He's starting to thaw because he's starting to realize that there are different kinds of relationships out there. I think she's teaching him how to quote unquote love, and he's teaching her how to become a woman. Yeah, it's just, oh. Hey, let's vomit at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's It's that bad. It just goes from like meeting each other's families. They
It's
go.
so on the nose you can literally predict lines
I
before they
did.
come out. He did.
I actually, because I mean, I've seen it before, but this is when it came out, and I forgot everything about the movie. And he goes, and somebody says, she says something, and I said, I am, and he goes, I am. I was like, oh my god.
It's just that predictable.
I didn't remember it. I just knew that that's the next line he's going to say, and everything that comes out, it's like it's BDSM for dummies.
Yeah, there is no nuance to this movie whatsoever. Everything is signposted.
It's blatant.
Right down to her biting her lip with a pencil.
And
just
it's like,
so you know she's turned
and it's a sexy thing if it wasn't actually addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they didn't actually say it, it would be
They literally address it.
You're biting your lip. You know how much that turns me on. That's dialogue, guys. That's. If you like this film, God bless you. I don't believe in God, but God bless you. And
if you like this film, I'm judging you. I'm judging you.
I was just about to say, but you have no taste in movies.
Sorry, I'm judging you harshly.
None, zero, zip.
Yeah.
Get off. Turn this off and just go and get a life.
Yep.
Because oh my God.
You done fucked up.
Yep. It's not a film for people.
No, it's not.
It's not a film for thinking people. We'll get to that at the end. But oh my God.
But as the movie progresses and he's learning how to love and she's learning how to be a woman, we still have in the background Christian's need to be a dominant and have her as his submissive. And with that comes a contract. Because apparently, if you sign a contract, that's consent and you can do whatever you like. That's not how consent works, people. Just in case you were wondering, that's not how consent works.
She can change her mind at any time.
Mind.
A year, a week, a month, a day, an hour later after she does anything. And if she changes her mind, that's rape.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
You know, and this country should learn that in our courts of law.
Yeah. That's
if you
the
take away
lesson for
consent,
today.
If you take away consent, it's rape. Sorry.
But this contract forms a large part of the movie.
It's the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
It literally is the MacGuffin of the movie. It's the thing that drives the film forward.
Yeah.
He stalks her everywhere, goes to her mum's place in Georgia, everything, just for her to sign this freaking contract. It's like, I would love to see a Simpsons parody of it. Contract, you know. I don't know if they have done because I don't watch it, but.
And the fascinating thing about this movie that it's supposed to be about BDSM is the only actually in the end I guess there's a little bit of foreplay, but there's pretty much throughout the entire movie there's no foreplay.
This whole film is about him going down on her. Like that's sort of like the
building up to going down on her.
And the whole film it's sort of like this is like Bored Housewives' wet dream because it's like it seems like that's the ultimate thing in the film that everyone is trying to get him to do.
Yeah,
just going down on her, and because that's a submissive act apparently, and it's like there's no preheating the oven, none.
No,
and she's a virgin.
Yeah. Just
like,
straight on in there.
And I'm going, oh my God, you know.
That's not how you do it,
He doesn't even kiss or make out. I mean, I know the film's got a running time and you have to cut stuff out, you know, and that kind of stuff. But touching and all that kind of stuff, there's no intimacy. That's actually one thing.
He takes off her clothes and he goes right for it. And apparently she has a great time.
That's dialogue.
Again.
That's actually
gentlemen,
dialogue.
That's not how it works.
No. Preheat the oven. Make sure it's nice and hot. Then you can eat your meal. That's a quote. If we ever make a trailer, that's going to be in it.
Sorry, Mum and Dad.
I don't care. But, I mean, this film, if I don't think I'll ever watch it again in my life.
No.
But if I do,
pay me to watch
I'll be
this.
drunk or otherwise, and I'll have a group of people with me.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I'm watching this in a serious and purposeful way again, ever. No. Because, I mean...
It was torture.
I mean, we talked to your mum the other day and she said it's 50 Shades of Shit, 50 Shades Shitter and 50 Shades Shittest.
And she's not wrong.
And she's not wrong.
No.
It is dire. I love that word, dire. It's because Game of Thrones dire wolf.
It is ironic that in a movie about BDSM that the main foreplay in the movie was the contract negotiation.
It was actually a steamy scene. It actually had some pathos, I think they call it.
Yeah.
Some emotion.
Yeah.
Because, like, she did the thing with the pencil again. And this time, because the lighting was actually really good in this scene, it actually was quite sensual. And it was like, as they were talking, he turns around and he goes, I'd really love to fuck you into next week right now.
And it makes sense.
And it makes sense because you'll get, well, I don't know, people watching it, but he's getting really hot for her and all that kind of stuff. And she's teasing him and stuff like that. That's one thing she does in that entire film. She doesn't actually let him control her as much as he wants to. She does fight back and gives a bit of cheek to him.
And more so as the movie progresses.
And he responds to that. He actually responds to that and he's like, oh, I like being challenged. I like it when someone stands up for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, it's a normal relationship.
Yeah.
It's like,
welcome to real life.
Yeah. I mean, geez, no relationship's perfect, but bloody hell, you've got to have a yin and yang and a back and forth.
Oh, boy.
It brings up a lot of things. And I got to say, the BDSM in it is so tame. It's tame.
Yeah. Like...
you can actually see him when he's in one scene near the end, he's whipping her.
Like the
and
climax,
he's just like going...
The climax of the movie is Anastasia asking Christian, how bad does it get? Show me how bad it gets. Apparently how bad it gets is 6 whacks on the ass with a belt.
And it's a thick belt.
That's it.
But he pulls his
that
punches.
Is literally it.
Like, he gives her a whack on the butt, and yeah, it would hurt. But the thing is, if this is as bad as it gets, why does he hold back?
And it makes no sense either that this is as bad as it gets, because I bring you back to the contract negotiation.
Turn to page 5, Appendix 3, Soft Limits.
With you.
Find anal fisting.
I'm all ears.
Strike it out. Strike out vaginal fisting, too.
You sure?
Yeah.
So you saw that. Anal fisting, vaginal fisting. It was in the contract. So if stuff like that is in the contract, that's much worse than being whacked on the ass 6 times.
I'd rather be whacked on the ass than have my ass fisted.
Well,
Sorry, this is going to be an adults only episode, I think.
I think so. But, there are a lot of things that are worse.
Lots.
Worse,
Or more adventurous.
Yeah, that's.
I'd say more adventurous. Because there's no worse when you're doing it right. Oops. It just it smacks of amateurishness.
Yeah.
It really does. It's sort of like, mate, you're a billionaire, if this is what you've been exposed to. I mean, the guys in Cruising were exposed to a lot worse, and they did some anal fisting.
I know. It was in the movie.
Yes, we saw it. It was actually shot for the movie.
Clearly, E.L. James really doesn't know what BDSM is.
Oh, no, she's a housewife, isn't she?
I think
a
so.
bored housewife that did fan fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course
you can tell.
You should know. She reminds me, like, in my head, my images of her is Melanie Linsky in Yellow Jackets. She's just...
Yeah, but I mean, Melanie Linsky in Yellow Jackets...
That's some chutzpah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
She wasn't...
But that's the kind of life that she'd have. Or the Desperate Housewives. Like one of the... I'd never watched the freaking show. But one of them, like...
She's Terry Hatcher in Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thinks she's all that, but doesn't know shit. I assume I've never seen the show.
So after this climax and Anastasia gets...
No one gets off.
Yeah. She gets whacked on the ass 6 times and apparently...
And she's like...
Don't ever touch me again. Apparently it is the worst thing that could have happened to her. And
There's a lot worse that can happen.
she leaves on an elevator, and the movie ends in basically the same way it started, because when at the beginning of the movie the elevator opens and she walks into his office.
When she leaves, he goes, Anastasia.
Christian.
Yeah.
And that is where the movie should have ended, should have faded to black.
Or not even fade back, just be black
Yep.
for a second.
But it didn't. We were then subjected to a further 5 minutes of their post-breakup sadness.
And there's no sadness to be had, to be honest, because they didn't really have a proper relationship. They had a relationship, but it wasn't like it wasn't sad like you'd see from when Harry met Sally, or you know, something romantic and stuff like that. No. It was just like this creepy dude stalked you, gave you lots of things.
Yeah, you had sex a few times,
and he smacked your butt.
Yeah, he had a bit of a spanking, and then you decided he wasn't for you.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's where it ends. Yeah, I know they got the shitter and shittest, but you know, Dumb and Dumber. But it's sort of like, we know that they exist, but this film should have ended there. And why didn't it end there, sweetie?
Well, I can tell you why it didn't end there, actually. A bit of trivia. We'll go into the rest of the trivia later. But apparently the director actually wanted to end the film with Anastasia in the elevator, and as the doors are closing, she says their safe word, which is red, because he's walking towards her in the elevator. And she's like, no, stop. And then she says red, and he stops. The elevator doors close, fade to black. That would have been a good way to end the movie.
Actually, would have been such a stronger movie.
Yeah.
I would have actually gone, fuck yeah, good on you, girl.
Yeah, but E.O. James, the author of these horrible, horrible books, did not like that ending, wouldn't allow that ending, and she's the reason we had to suffer a further 5 minutes of their post-breakup sadness.
The montage of shit.
Yeah. So thank you, E.O. James.
I mean, it's like a bad horror film or a bad show, movie, whatever, when like half an hour in, they show a flashback to what happened in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like that. It really is. It's like, there's no need to have a flashback. We could have just had a shot of him in the car, like looking out the window and looking at people, and have a shot back of him shot of her looking in her car, doing the same thing, but on the opposite side. Would have had more impact than friggin' a montage, because we know what they're thinking. We're intelligent people. Well, maybe not all these people that watch this are intelligent, but an intelligent film watcher will know what someone's thinking through intent of the storyline. And they could have played that stupid freaking song again, and it would have been, oh, they're thinking about each other and it's sad, and it would have been an emotional impact if they had to do after the elevator.
But no such thing happens in this movie. It is so poorly put together.
It's banal. But I got to, in defence, that Sam Taylor Johnson, she's married to Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
She's a bit of a cougar as well, because she's quite a lot older than him.
Yeah.
She directed a film called Backbeat. Backbeat? Well, she directed a film that he was John Lennon in. And she's a great director, like excellent director. And there are some things in this film that I sat there going, I get it. But you feel like she's a director that is like a Marvel director that's got like hands.
Well, she did.
Handcuffed.
She did. That's another bit of trivia. She clashed heads with E.O. James and actually left the series because she could.
Did she direct the second film?
I'm not sure. I didn't get time to check.
I know. I think one of the people from Twilight directed one of the films.
Yeah. But she ended up leaving the series anyway because she could not make the movie she wanted to make because E.L. James just kept putting her 2 cents in.
It's like if Stephen King was like telling him, no, you can't do that. When he actually, I got mad respect for him, because when he sells a property, he's like, go with God. The book still exists. Do whatever you need to do. You know, and it's good because the only time he's ever had a bit of contention is when Flanagan was doing Dr. Sleep, and he wanted to make it a sequel to The Shining and the book, and he successfully merged the two worlds and had the ending from the book in Dr. Sleep. And that's why Dr. Sleep is a freaking masterpiece because he managed to satisfy everyone. I mean, if you've seen Ready Player One, you know that Stephen King hated his The Shining. But
this piece of crap is the opposite of that.
yep. Well, what's that quote about Twilight? Stephen King said. He said Romeo and Juliet is about love, loss, desire. Can't have something like that, and Twilight's about how cool it is to have a boyfriend.
Yeah,
And this is based on that.
pretty much it. The movie has absolutely horrendous pacing. Everything, like I said, there's no nuance to it. The movie's called 50 Shades of Grey.
It's grey.
It is literally 50 Shades of Grey.
I'd say
the
more.
background, the outfits, everything's grey.
All the secretaries wear grey outfits. All the office furniture is grey.
The music that we get in the background,
Bland.
which are all cover songs.
Except for that Love Me Like You. I don't want to say the title.
But
People
most
look it
of
up.
them are cover songs of like shitty pop music.
No, I Put a Spell on You was actually a good cover by Annie Lennox. I've heard that was. I don't think it was recorded for the film.
No.
But they used it in the film, and that's actually a really good cover. It's Creedence Clearwater Revival.
It wasn't
covered it.
used well in the movie.
No,
But
every needle drop is actually put in the wrong spot.
that's the thing. The music often doesn't correlate with what is happening.
I mean, they
in the
did that
scenes.
song, the theme song from it, and they do it while they're in a glider, and it's like they should have had that during a sex scene,
Yeah. Or
and that would have been the
Something.
pacing of the song lends itself to. So it's written by Holly. I know, was it Holly Knight that wrote it, or was it Diane Warren? It was Diane Warren. She wrote that song, and she wrote "I've Had the Time of My Life" and all that. So she's soundtrack queen, and the pacing of the song, they all have a very similar rhythm, and we know what that rhythm is.
yeah. And like everything is so on the nose. When she goes to his office and the elevator doors open, she literally falls down onto her knees. She literally falls for him. Yeah, it's awful. And the sex scenes are so poorly
paced.
edited
Yeah, they're badly
that
edited.
it sucks any sexuality, any intimacy
There's no
out of the movie.
beginning, middle, and end of it.
No.
It's like because actually flash back in the sex scene to a position they were in before, and then they go to
That's right.
like it's that'll get an award. But it's this is a Razzie qualifying film.
Yeah.
Like Dakota Johnson, she might be a very attractive woman, but she cannot prove to me that she can act with this movie.
Every single line delivery was atrocious.
Oh my God. She was like trying to think of something to say before she said it. It's like you could actually see the cogs moving. She's just terrible. I mean, Jamie Dornan isn't that good either, but he actually is playing a very creepy person, but he does an extremely good job of it.
Yeah.
He actually, like, I'll give him props. He comes off as a creep.
Yeah.
And a fucked up guy.
Yeah. They have no chemistry whatsoever. So it would have been interesting to see a movie with
Chemistry.
any chemistry whatsoever.
I mean,
I
just
wonder if it
because
would have made a difference.
just because you take a girl's clothes off doesn't mean that she's submissive to you. Bruce. It's such a sad
Yep.
world we live in where a film gets a budget like this. I mean, I was looking at it at one point and I said to Alicia, I was like, man, this film had a budget, and it sucks. This one film's budget could have made 20 indie horror films or 20 indie comedies.
It's about a $40 million budget.
Could have made a lot of films with that, and a lot of good films. The blacklist comes out of screenplays every year comes out, and I guarantee if there's 10 on that list, those 10 films will be better than this piece of crap.
Yep. Shall I give you some trivia about this piece?
I don't want to talk about this film too long.
Yeah,
I mean, we're already
so
half an hour into this,
let's
and I want this
move
to be
on
one
to
of
the
our shortest
trivia.
episodes because I need to move on from this piece of crap.
Apparently, American Psycho writer Bret Eaton Ellis, expressed desire to write the script for this movie.
That would have been okay.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been very
Get Chuck
interesting.
Palahniuk to do a pass on it too.
Unfortunately, he didn't get chosen, and the job went to Kelly Marcel, who wrote Saving Mr. Banks.
The Tom Hanks film.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
Isn't that the Disney film?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Where he plays Walt Disney.
Yep.
That was shit.
Yep.
It was badly written.
Yeah.
Continuity.
Here's more trivia. The cinematographer revealed that.
Oh, hold on.
What?
Do we want to do that then? Or is that going to be mentioned? It's from an award.
No, because
That's cool.
yeah, no,
Go on.
it's fine. This cinematographer revealed that him and his team digitally added all shots of pubic hair in the movie. So any pubic hair that you see is not real. And to their credit,
Damn.
it actually looks pretty good. Apparently Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan just wore clear modesty patches on.
But her hair, not that I was watching,
He was watching.
her hair disappeared at one point.
Yeah.
In one of the scenes.
Yeah,
It's like she didn't have any hair all of a sudden down there.
did
I thought,
notice that.
did she shave?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been, and this is the kind of film that would have mentioned, you've shaved. Or something like that would have been a creepy comment. But I was like, oh, okay. She doesn't have any hair down there now. Is this, how, like, what's happening? Is she now, because she's had sex, she takes care of her?
No, they just forgot to digitally
Add
put it
it.
in.
You'd be like, continuity.
Because she didn't use a body double for any of the scenes except for
And God bless her for that.
except for the final scene when she was being whacked on the ass because they didn't want her to get hurt in any
Yeah,
way.
but you didn't see the ass. All you saw is him whack. Why would they?
I think you see it land on her ass. I'm not sure, but they used a body double for that scene.
They should
The
always
rest
use-
of it was her.
They should always use porn stars for sex scenes.
Yes,
Always. Because they're professionals and they know how to make it look sexy.
exactly.
You don't get amateurs and you don't get people that look like they've been on television once in their life. In their dad's TV show.
Another fun fact, Dakota Johnson actually stole a flogger and several pairs of underwear from the film set. Apparently, she took the underwear, claiming they were too comfortable to be left behind.
That's
Fun facts.
That's a level of information that I think no one on this earth needs to know.
Yep.
But thank you.
But now you all know. You're welcome. And also, can you guess what Dakota Johnson's favourite scene was in the movie? She actually had a favourite scene.
The first time they have sex.
No,
The gliding scene.
no. It was the contract negotiation scene.
That actually is the best scene in the
It
film.
actually, yeah, it is actually the best.
It's a
scene
good
in
looking
the
scene.
movie.
It actually is a good looking scene.
It is the one scene where she actually puts a little bit of effort into it.
Yeah,
and-
she's not awful in that. in
Yeah,
that scene.
and they actually have a smidge of chemistry. So I guess she
I
was,
mean, I love his line that he said to her. It's like, oh, it's a bit, like you don't get to see that in real life from other people that often.
my final bit of trivia, and this is where the quote from the book comes. In the book trilogy, the phrase "my inner goddess" is mentioned 115 times in the book.
What's an inner goddess?
For example, my inner goddess is jumping up and down, clapping her hands like a 5-year-old.
I think I remember that.
That is an actual line from one of the
Hold on.
books. Thankfully, they did not use that phrase in the movie or any of the movies.
That writer would have looked at that and gone, hell no.
Well, because her inner goddess is only ever mentioned in her inner monologue, and they didn't choose to have an inner monologue in the movie. So,
Well, because they would have been going for a Blade Runner
oh
sort of
my
effect.
God. Could you imagine if they did?
Her talking.
I don't even want to think about it.
I mean, look, she's attractive and she's got a career. She's somewhat successful, but I mean, she would have made a lot of bank out of these three movies. However, please don't act anymore, or go to acting classes and learn how to act and come back, Dakota.
Just make better choices.
Yeah, go into a horror film. You're actually pretty good in a horror film.
Yeah, you would be.
She'd actually be good in a scream film. That's something like that.
Yeah.
Or a scary movie.
Yeah. Move to horror.
Or thriller, like psychological thrillers, because they can scare the shit out of you, and they might get a reaction. And Jamie, go into comedy, because he actually is a very good comedic actor. I've seen him do comedy before, and
I'll take your word for it.
and he just needs to.
He's all right. I've seen him in other things. He's okay.
Yeah, he's actually a decent actor.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Who is this movie for?
Bored housewives.
Bored housewives who have partners who have never given them an orgasm. That's who this movie is for.
I'm sorry.
You deserve better, ladies.
Yes, that your inner goddess fly.
What is the worst line in this movie?
Oh, I've got this written down.
Yeah.
I've actually got 5 worst lines here.
My worst line is Jamie Dornan, Mr. Christian Grey, saying, "I'm 50 shades of fucked up."
Because I'm 50 shades of fucked up.
Mine is not until I have your written consent. I mean, it's so on the notes. It's just not until I have your written consent. And the worst line before that, it's actually the line above, says, "I don't do romance."
I don't do romance.
Like hell you don't, buddy.
Yeah.
5 minutes in, you're lying next to a girl and having a good old sleep.
It's just the way he says it as well.
Yeah.
What is the best line in the movie?
Anastasia, Christian. Because that's the end of the film.
I think the best line is when Christian says necrophilia is
This
not
is what
my
my
thing.
thing.
Necrophilia is not my thing.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually good, a good line.
Yeah.
And you delivered it well.
Yeah.
Or it could be, I fuck hard.
No, that's not a good line. That was
That's in contention for the worst line.
That was a terrible line. Most over the top performance.
I would say Marcia Gay Harden as his mum.
No, I'd say Dakota Johnson putting a frickin' pencil to her mouth.
Yeah, they would have done 50 takes on that one. 50 takes of pencil.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll show it to you now for your viewing pleasure.
Curious?
Yeah. The worst special effect.
The pubes
Yeah.
and lack thereof.
Now that we know that that's a thing, the disappearing, reappearing pubic area. It's hilarious.
Yeah. What's this?
I
Sponsored
mean,
by
the
Schick.
actual effect of the pubes were great.
No,
I didn't
look,
realise
I
they
actually
were
thought
fake.
it was his pubes and a little bit of his dick.
Yeah, but apparently
Not
not.
that I was, wanted
But,
that.
you know, if you're going to digitally insert that shit, be careful. Like,
And
check all
check.
your scenes.
Yeah, have it written down
it
in front
wasn't
of you.
just one scene.
Sure.
They were there, they were gone, they were there, they were gone.
I mean, lighting doesn't do that to a pubic patch.
No.
Okay.
The worst editing moment.
The sex scene.
Yeah.
Just because it actually goes to it progresses, then it goes back to halfway through what they were doing before, then it goes back to the end of the sex scene, then it goes back.
And then in the last scene, they add in slow motion,
Oh,
as well.
it's like the Ridley Scott painting with light sort of thing. I hate
Yeah.
when he's got a battle and it's like the camera just like goes like
Yeah.
like shaky vision. Oh, it's fucking awful. That's put me off Ridley Scott since the year 2000.
Yeah.
Like he
That
hasn't made a
shaky
film I
slow-mo
like.
crap.
Like Prometheus and Covenant weren't awful because they're alien films, but if I think he does that in those as well. Like, and as soon as he does that, it just takes me out of the movie. And I'm thinking, fuck, this is a movie. It's not real. You know, it just doesn't look
Yeah.
right.
And you can't have that in a sex scene. Like,
It's like playing a game and all of a sudden the frame rate goes.
yeah,
It takes you out of it.
Distracting.
Fucking awful.
All right, what are we going to give this movie out of 10?
1.
0. Nothing.
I'm going to give it one for her nudity.
She's got a great body, but nothing. No points from me.
You know what? I even hate that song. No, 0.
Yeah.
I'll agree. I'll concur.
You don't deserve any love from us.
No. Make a better film.
Yep.
Do better. And any guys out there that think that this is a blueprint for how to treat a woman, no. Get out of your mama's basement.
Yeah. That's not how consent works. It's not how sex works. It's not how BDSM works.
It's not how love works.
None of that is real.
No. This is a true fantasy
Yeah.
for bored housewives that have never had an orgasm. That's the best line.
It's poor ladies.
Well, what can you do?
Find another husband.
Yeah. Okay, so from me, stay hydrated.
And remember, leggings are not pants.
And you love yourself like you do.